Hello. The purpose of today's call is to discuss the solution for NetSuite's catch weight management. A few areas that we're going to go into during today's discussion and demonstration is just setting the stage for catch weights and how we handle it within the system, a general review of the flow of catch weight management for food and beverage distributors, and we'll jump right into a demo so we can get right into the software quickly and go through the general requirements that we're going to see in the distribution space. But just to go back into what are catch weights in general, it's the idea that an item will have the ability to capture one unit of measure and maybe price that another. A very easy and simplistic example of this is on the screen here. If we go on buy a case of salmon fillets, not every fillet is going to be an exact pound. And in this case, we may receive the case in at 15 pounds rather than the nominal average weight of 12 pounds. When we talk about this within NetSuite and the functionality that's required, we go through that same example, and this is what we'll show through the demo today. We're going to go in, review a purchase order, note that an item, a salmon fillet, has the idea of catch weight turned on. With the nominal weight being at 12 pounds, we're going to go ahead and receive that case into the warehouse. Once a sales order is then created from a sales team or a call comes in, the warehouse will be notified to pick a case. And at that time, there's a big piece that we want to take into account, and that's weighing the actual weight of that case on the outbound. This is where catch weight management comes into play. We don't want to have to charge our customer less than the nominal case or more than what the actual intended cost is going to be. The idea is that we're going to charge our customer based on the weight that's going on the outbound. So if they ordered a case for 12 pounds and it ends up being 11.5 pounds, they're only charged for 11.5 pounds. This goes hand in hand with accounting. When we get into the financial aspect of accounts receivable, we'll talk about how the invoice becomes updated with that actual weight, and we can go and apply the payment from our customer for accounts receivable and get any type of pending or outstanding or aging off of our books in real time. With that being said, we're going to go and jump right into our dashboard for our customer service representative. I'm working as Kathy Cadigan, and you'll note we have our dashboard set up to give us reminders, key performance indicators, multiple different searches, and it's really about the proactive detail that we can get to our team first thing in the morning when they log in. My expectation is that most people have seen the dashboards, the different, we'll wear multiple hats today as we go through this demonstration. The first thing that I'm going to go into is really my stock status report. We'll start there. It's a proactive way of understanding what is on the inbound coming in, what we may have shorted, and many people may look at that as a short report or shortage report. You'll note that we have 12 pounds that are going to be shorted across 3 different sales orders, but we also have 1,200 pounds coming in from a PO that we intend to receive today. So what we can do is we can jump right into our PO and receive those items. Now, I talked about on our flow that it all starts from purchasing. We're going to go ahead and collect our salmon by cases, but it's going to be priced at the pound. So from the purchase order, quickly to review that, I can jump right into my item 360, really the item record that holds all of your data. You'll note it's our Alaskan salmon, and as we talked about on our definition here, we have our standard, and I want to call this physical units type. I purchase it in a case, I may stock it in cases, and I may sell it in cases. These are flexible and defined by the user in our multiple unit of measure solution. The big piece here is going to be at the bottom as we define our catch weight and the classification that it falls into. Catch weight is defined, we flag it as a catch weight item, and you'll notice that now we have a pricing unit of type. And as we go back to that example, a case has 1 pound fillets in it, and that nominal average weight is going to be 12 pounds per case. And therefore, again, we're pricing per pound, but we're purchasing by case. We can go right back to that purchase order and start the receiving process. So as we're receiving our cases, at the receiving dock, we may go in and we may have a scanner. You may be just receiving and looking at the supplier's weight that they put on the case itself. There's two different ways to look at receiving a catch weight item, whether it be that you're going to go in and physically weigh every single case, or you go in and your supplier has provided you with the catch weight across the cases that you're receiving. In this use case and demonstration, I'm going to go ahead and say that this came in at 1,250 pounds, and that's our catch weight detail. Now we could also go in and say that we created 10 cases, and each case might have an exact weight to it, and that just depends on the manpower and how you're doing your receiving if you're weighing. We're pricing it by pound. It's a $2 rate per pound at this point. And the only other thing that we want to detail is our inventory and item detail. Now, you've seen this in the past. This is where we make sure we have your traceability. It's going to give you the first step of your receiving traceability, and I'm going to go ahead and assign my lot number for today's date. You'll note I'm bringing in over 100 cases at this point of 12 fillets per case. That's going to give you 1,200 pounds total. And again, you can always do your expiration date management within NetSuite. So we're always tracking that layer and lot in the end. So as we add that case detail, we're saying we're going to capture 50 pounds more. So on the accounts payable side, this is now going to be 50 pounds more and therefore cost more to us. All of the accounting is going to happen in the back end, and we can go and bring all the cases into our location at this time. So 100 cases, and it's going to bring in 1,200 pounds total. So again, if we go back to our Alaskan salmon, we can refresh our record, and immediately we'll see the new inventory in our specific location that was just brought in. Quantity on hand is the 101 cases, and then 1,212 pounds that we have at this time. So again, that immediate adjustment is going to happen at the time of the receiving, and it's going to trigger our accounts payable to start the process of creating a bill and payment for our vendor. Now that we've brought the inventory in-house, I can go right back to my dashboard, and what I'll do is I'll go into one of these sales orders that we know we were planning on shorting, and now we can read sales order 676 for Crescent Street Grill, and we can go ahead and fulfill this order. Now, the second part of the flow is going to be on the sales side. When sales goes in, they're going to go and create an order. Your system is going to create a pick ticket out to our warehouse, and your warehouse team needs to go and pick a specific item at that point. You'll notice that it's going to grab the Alaskan salmon. We have 101 cases on hand. We have to commit 10. You'll notice that everything has been committed in real time since we brought that inventory. We'll go ahead and ship this out immediately. There's also the opportunity to go pick, pack, ship, general warehouse requirements, and based on your business organization processes. We'll go and pick a lot at this point, and that lot number that we brought in just a minute ago is going to be available to us. We'll grab the 10 cases. So what we're doing here is that we grab the 10 cases, and the final piece of this is going to say, okay, we have multiple cases in here. Say we wanted to give them the 10 cases, we want to create 10 different case lines if we're going to weigh out each case in the end. The weight and all the way through our final case, and we'll submit that and save it. Immediately, it's going to go and grab our total weight, which is now 109 pounds, and that's going to give us a short of 11 pounds. The intended weight would be 10 times 12 pounds of fillets, and we're only doing 109 in the end. Immediately, we can go ship this out, and immediately it's going to give the accounts receivable team a reminder that there is going to be a new invoice that needs to be created. But really, that's the real-time piece that we want to talk about as we go through this. Now that this has been shipped, bill this out. The bill is going to capture the full detail of our weight on the outbound, and then update all of the accounting. So again, we're not going to go charge our customer for 120 pounds, when in reality, it might be 109 pounds. It'll go create the actual weight, the weight that it's taking in at this time, for the cases and create that invoice for the outbound. And the final piece will be receiving that payment. It's going to update all of the weight to the 109 pounds. We'll accept the payment based on the weight that it's updated, and the final invoice is going to give us that transactional amount that we're going to need in the end. So let's go ahead and bring in our payment. We'll be able to see again the invoice that's it's associated with for the 2,289 and save this. And just as we had mentioned, when we look at that sales order 676 to Crescent Street, all of the information has been updated. We'll see that we got the 10 cases, price per unit of measure, the average weight, but here's our actual weight that was shipped out. So again, that 11-pound difference is updated. So we have the amount updated to $22.89, which will be their invoicing cost. We always have the ability to go back, edit this, and review any of the catch weight detail for traceability or anything from an outbound perspective when it comes to the related transactions, so you can review those invoices in the end that was paid. What I want to do now is jump back to our flow that we talked about and do a quick review. So what you saw today is that we went through our catch weight scenario by starting off and bringing in a purchase order with a catch weight item, the salmon fillets. They were a pound fillets at 12 fillets per case. And we brought in 10 or 100 cases, bringing in 1,200 pounds. We went into our stock status to go ahead and fulfill a sales order that looked to be shorted. The warehouse picked out 10 cases and weighed the actual case weight for the fulfillment center to go and ship out. Where catch weight management went back, we make sure that the sales order was updated with the actual weight. The invoice is going to go ahead and be created based on the actual weight. And that payment is going to be applied, so we're not, again, costing our customers more money or losing money on the outbound based on the weight that we're shipping out. As we further the definition of the catch weight requirements, I just wanted to go through that final example. We talked about the average nominal weight that we define within our items. A case of 1 pound fillets means 12 pounds at 12 fillets per case. But again, we might receive it at different weights and it might ship out at different weights. The example I like to give is if you're at a grocery store and you're looking for chicken, beef, fish, it's all a different weight when you're going in there, and that doesn't change in the distribution field. Ultimately, in the end, we discussed that there's a physical weight versus your nominal or purchasing weight. We're going to make sure that all of the inventory is maintained in both of those unit types. Therefore, you have your physical weight and your purchasing unit that's going to define and give you that math, the weight times the actual pound and what that cost is going to be per pound. The transactions occur at PO entry, so you may receive your items at a different catch weight at the item receipt. It's also going to happen at the sales order entry at item fulfillment, where your warehouse team is going to pick a case, weigh it, and make sure that it's updated and tracked when it comes to the physical and the weight that's inventoried. This is a common customization in that it's going to be different per customer, so we add it on when catch weights are needed in the distribution field. I appreciate the time today and thank you very much.